You feeling mentally exhausted, emotionally overwhelmed, trapped in an endless cycle of not enough sleep and too much caffeine, and it's just to barely make it through the day, right? I mean, if you or someone ring a bell, might be a classic case of burnout. There was a study that was done of almost 7,500 full time employees, and they found about two-thirds of them have experienced burnout at work. You may know the symptoms of burnout all too well. You have the Sunday scaries, you feel hopeless on your drive to work, you stop trying as hard as you used to. It feels like every spark of excitement you once had is gone. You might think this is normal, but it's not. You don't gotta live that way. There's a way out. So, what we want to do is we want to start by defining burnout and go through some things to how you can notice it and then how to fix it. So, we're going to start with the definition of what is burnout. Well, burnout is a feeling of exhaustion, frustration, or being overwhelmed that happens when stress and toxicity build up over time. It's when we put so much effort into taking care of everything without rest, recognition, and results that we drain ourselves of energy and sap our emotional and physical wellness. Burnout can happen at your job, in your relationship. Maybe you're a caretaker of somebody else, or, when faced with any other constant, stressful situation that needs your attention. And when it takes every ounce of energy just to make it through another day, you'll eventually just kaput, feel robbed of your sense of purpose. And that's burnout. Now, the symptoms of burnout affect every part of your life, your work, your relationships, your health, your overall outlook on life. With so much emotional buildup, burnout can make you feel disconnected, lost, hopeless, just miserable. So, how do you get burned out to begin with? Well, slippery slope, but it happens over time. So, what are some of the top causes of burnout? Especially in like your career. Well, no passion for your work, right? When your job doesn't matter to you, you begin to believe your work doesn't matter at all. Then you start believing you don't matter. This is why a lack of passion quickly leads to burnout. Toxic workplace, being around poor leadership, gossipy coworkers or teammates who don't trust one another, and it's just draining. And no matter how hard you try to have a good attitude, that kind of negativity day after day after day, it's gonna crush your spirit. There's boredom. Maybe you still like your job, but you feel like you've hit a wall because you're doing the same tasks every day with no opportunity for growth. When you're not challenged at work, motivation to even show up starts to fade. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. You might be feeling the effects of burnout because you're just overworking, staying late every night, and wrecking your work life balance. That's enough to make anyone's health go downhill. Or even feeling unappreciated. Let's face it, everyone needs to feel appreciated. That doesn't mean you need constant awards and applause and, thumbs up and good job. But if you've got, you know, nothing for months or years with no recognition, it starts to hurt. Now, if you've been experiencing one or more of these common causes of burnout, don't lose hope. Believe it or not, you can wake up every day excited to go to work. Right? If you're willing to work for it, you can get there. Let's talk about some of the ways that we can recover from burnout, right? So some of the symptoms first, right? Because burnout can look different for different people. Some people experience more mental and emotional symptoms of burnout, and others have a more physical reaction with their stress and exhaustion. So, a few things to look out for. Mentally, anxiety, depression, restlessness, frustration. Maybe your productivity suffers. Maybe you're constantly irritable. You have no motivation, right? You feel disconnected. You overreact to the smallest things, or you're constantly zoning out, right? Or you could have physical ones, headaches, stomach issues. Maybe you're getting poor sleep, low energy, your body's hurting all the time, right? Or maybe you're getting sick more often than you normally would. Now, remember, there could be other things going on in life that are contributing to these symptoms, and it's always good to talk to, like, your doctor, a counselor, get guidance. So then, now that we know to look out for these things, and you know, how are we going to recover from it, right? Well, hear me out, because recovery doesn't happen overnight. If you're truly burned out, your body and spirit will need time to heal. You can't expect a weekend getaway or a good night's sleep to fix problems that have been around for months or years. Recovering from burnout is a process that will require effort, time, and maybe more than one approach. We're going to go over a few solutions that might get you started on a path that you need to be heading down. So, one of the first things is rediscovering your why, because understanding your why means getting clarity on your purpose at work. And this is important because you don't know why you do something, and it's hard to push through when things get hard. In order to rediscover your why or discover it for the first time, you can ask yourself a couple questions. Do I actually enjoy the work I'm doing? Do I connect with the results that my work produces? Or am I tapping into what I do best, right? Your talents and what I love to do most, your passions. Now, look, as a warning, these questions might reveal that the job you're in today isn't where you should be or where you should stay. But don't put in your 2 weeks notice just yet, okay? The next thing we want to talk about is speaking up. I always recommend you talk with, whoever the leader might be for where you're working before making any major changes. If you have way too much on your plate, ask your leader to help you prioritize and set boundaries. If people around you are gossiping or stabbing each other in the back, bring it to your leader first or your supervisor, and then, if appropriate, talk with your coworkers directly. Communication is the key to a healthy work environment. If your supervisor or leader isn't willing to truly lead in these areas by helping you reach a solution, then you've got yourself another good reason to start looking for another job. Another thing is talking about change your perspective. Now, this one's not easy, but sometimes you just need to adjust your attitude and see your job in a new light. There might be times you need to stay in a job you don't love longer than you want because you're job hunting for a better opportunity. Your current job is funding your future, and that's something that probably be grateful for. Whatever your situation, always look for the light at the end of the tunnel. Instead of focusing on the fact that you're dissatisfied with your job, focus on the good things. What is the job helping you accomplish right now? And what can you look forward to in the near future? Remember, nothing's permanent. You're not required to stay in the same job for the rest of your life, but right now it's serving a good purpose. Another thing you could think about doing is changing your role. Maybe you love the company you work for, but there's a different role that better suits your skills or talents and passions. If there's any open internal positions you're interested in and you know you'd be a great fit for it, talk with your leader or supervisor about the possibility of taking that transition. Another thing you could think about doing is changing your location. Now, it's a big one, I know, but in order to do what you love, you need to be around people who are doing it and in places where it's happening. If you can't do what you love in your own town, maybe it'd be time to broaden your career search and consider relocating to another city or state. But before you make a bold move, I want you to either have a new job on the table before you quit, or at least 6 months of living expenses saved to keep you afloat while you're job hunting. Whatever you decide to do, just remember any job you ever have will bring a unique set of challenges and struggles. We all have bad days, even in work we love. But when you're doing what you're meant to do in a healthy environment, you may get tired, but burnout's not going to be a problem. One of the big things you need to make sure you do is focus on your wellness. You have to care for your body and spirit and mind. And, if you want to heal from burnout, and you can't start small, right? You don't need to do a complete health overhaul to start feeling better. Each day, take these teeny tiny little steps to get your wellness back on track. So, a few things you could do is set a timer on your phone so you go to bed a little earlier. Eat healthy meals, right? Or at least get an extra serving of vegetables for dinner, right? And change out one of your unhealthy snacks for some fruit. Add some daily movement, like go for a walk or do some yoga, right? To help relieve stress. Spend a few minutes in the sun or laughing with a friend. You could also like meditate or journal to get your thoughts out of your head. When your body has been in fight or flight mode, these simple actions, they're going to start to unwind the feelings that have been just keeping you stuck and been bottled up. So remember, there's the feelings of exhaustion and hopelessness you're experiencing, they're very real. But to encourage you, I mean, when you're feeling burned out and at the end of your rope, right, there's hope for you to turn things around. You'll need to make some hard decisions and you might have to shift priorities to make it happen, but you can bring balance, purpose, and wellness back to your life. You were designed to play a unique role in life. Someone out there needs you to be you. So don't let burnout stand in the way of you doing what you were made to do, right? So I really hope you guys got some good information out of this, and maybe it'll help get you out of that rut you're in or help you move forward and, just overall be happier and healthier. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate that even more. But until I see you guys in the next one, y'all be safe.